What do we do? We sit here?
Yes. You just joined, see?
Somebody join.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna who they said his lawyer was right now. He's got to appoint a lawyer. That's juvenile probation department, JPD.
Answer it.
You know it. You know it. That's the thing. I had to edit and cut out the whole, like there's a slow incremental at the beginning, and then it goes into the brass. All right, so this is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court on Friday, January 8, 2021. Comply with the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 30 related to the coronavirus. We are not conducting in-person proceedings. However, we are using Zoom, and to comply with the Open Courts Act of the Texas Constitution, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube so the public may observe what is occurring inside a public courtroom in an effort for transparency in government. No portion of this broadcast may be recorded, copied, or published. Violations are punishable by contempt of court of up to a $500 fine and 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail. The court does expect all participants to behave as if they were in court, which means if you are a participant but not an officer of the court, then you are expected to have your cameras on and with your face in view of the camera. Please refrain from having bright lights from behind your head as that shadows out your face, and kind of moving objects, ceiling fans, being in a moving car, or having domesticated animals. Please do not be in bed or laying down, using the lavatory, or taking showers. I do mention this because this has all happened before. What else is there? Yeah, you need to be appropriately dressed. And yes. All right, so let me just look here. Wow. Good. All right, so we'll go and start with Brian Hernandez. All right, Mr. Hernandez, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I've decided whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, we'll provide one for you. Rafael Sierra has been appointed as attorney for this hearing. All right, so Mr. Hernandez, you're 15, just turned 15 years old last week. All right, so yesterday, almost midnight, Grand Prairie got an email about a stolen vehicle. They ran the plates, came back to stolen from Arlington. They got there where the car was last seen. They found the vehicle, tried a traffic stop. The vehicles failed to stop, and there was a pursuit. Car ran through several stop signs and red lights, finally came to a stop. All 4 occupants bailed out. Officer chased the driver into an apartment complex, yelled at him to stop several times, but he failed to stop, and he was arrested. So Brian was arrested and transported here. Brian is currently, you were brought in October for an assault case, and then last March for burglary of a vehicle, which was dismissed for DPP. We've been drug testing and positive for methamphetamines and marijuana. You're not enrolled in school. Mom says she's had no issues. Do we have a parent here?
No, Your Honor. She was called last night, informed of the detention hearing today, and I attempted several times this morning to contact her, and her phone does not accept voicemail, so I was unable to leave her a voicemail also.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious how Mom says there's no problems with this kid, but he's not even enrolled in school. All right. Well, Brian, you're arrested for unauthorized for burglary of a vehicle, and now you're caught in a stolen car and evading from the police, and you're using methamphetamines. And so I think you're a danger to yourself if I was to release you. Now, you raise your hand. If you have a question for me, I don't think your attorney minds you asking me a question, but if you want to tell me something, I'm sure your attorney wants you to stay quiet. So do you have a question for me, or do you want to tell me something?
I got a question.
Okay, what's your question?
I've not done methamphetamine. I don't know why I showed up.
Okay, that's not a question. You know what a question is?
Yes.
Okay, so the question starts with who, what, where, when, how. Like, that's not a question. So I'll tell you how you show for positive for methamphetamines is you're using methamphetamines, right? So, I mean, you can't tell me that you're not when you are. So don't make your situation worse and lie to me. All right,
Yes,
so I'm
sir.
going to go ahead and detain you for your drug use. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you,
Roger,
Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Sierra.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Jones, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing, deciding whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you here, then you see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. You turned 16 years old last month. Currently, you're pending a jury trial. This is the case where they're saying that you spent the night at a friend's house and shot Mom's boyfriend while he's sleeping. Do we have a parent here?
No, sir. Mom is at work.
Okay.
Couldn't take off.
Yeah. So, and shot him in the head while he's sleeping just to steal his cell phone, then ran off. So I'm concerned about the safety of the public if I was to release you. I know you've been here for a while and that disturbs me, but because of coronavirus, we are limited in what kind of court proceedings that we have. We are not allowed to conduct jury trials until we have an all clear from the public health official for Tarrant County. So meanwhile, I think he's level 1-0, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. That is
How would it be, Judge?
in your trial about your behavior level. All right, Mr. Adniji, did you have something?
I was saying, you're asking if it's on level 1. I said always been.
Yes, yes. If I recall, he's always behaved here. So I'm glad to see that. Mr. Jones.
He's a model person back there.
More than what?
He's a model person back there.
Oh, yes. And well, so you don't get credit for doing what you're supposed to do. He's supposed to be a model person back there, right? But Mr. Jones, I hope you understand where I'm coming from because of the nature of the offense. It's so serious. I'm concerned. It's a homicide. I'm concerned about releasing you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Adniji. Aaron Ortiz. All right, Mr. Ortiz, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Aaron, you're 17 years old. You just turned 17 last month. Let's see. Back in September, you were referred by Grapevine PD for two burglary of vehicles. They're saying in September, about 11:30, they were dispatched for burglaries in progress. Witness saw two Hispanic males, later one identified as Aaron Ortiz, and his brother, located in an apartment complex, lifting up door handles to try and open them. They found a black purse and found ID when they got on the scene. Contacted the victim. Police said that they spoke with Aaron and Jesse. Aaron was confrontational with officers, but Jesse was cooperative. They said they entered into two vehicles, took items, including some cash, but that was returned to the victims. Then in November, you were brought in by Grapevine. According to the report in October, they met with a victim and her son. The victim said that he had friends over who left his apartment about 1 o'clock. Eric couldn't find his car keys. They give a description to Aaron and Jesse. They said they didn't have the car through Instagram. They lived in the same apartment. There was surveillance that showed Aaron and Jesse. Aaron admitted driving the vehicle and handed the officer the keys. All right. So in December, there's an out-of-custody referral from early in December, 5 days before he turned 17, where it shows Aaron and Jesse stealing $615 out of the victim's closet. The victim's younger brother allowed them into the home while he was at work. The victim contacted Aaron, Jesse, and before he could ask, Jesse said he didn't have any money. The victim added that his friend showed Aaron's Snapchat account showing Aaron holding up cash, smoking weed, and asking who's got smoke, trying to buy drugs on the internet. Well, here's Aaron. Do we have a parent here by chance?
Yes, sir. My mom speaks Spanish.
Okay. So it seems like literally the only way to keep you from stealing is to keep you akimbo. So I'm going to keep you akimbo. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Hazel Rios. All right, Hazel, I am Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When kids brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to be silent. You have a right to an attorney. And, oh, you know, I forgot to tell him. Maybe 1797 downtown. Oh, that's right. Oh, Mr. Nava. Next time you see your is Mr. Nava still here?
Your Honor, I'll speak with Mr. Martinez Ortiz.
Yeah, make sure he understands that he's 17 now. So if he's not a level 1, then I'm just going to have him housed downtown until his case is done. Right.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call him today.
All right, Hazel. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Mr. Masick is your attorney. Do we have a parent here?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Judge.
Okay, so Hazel, 14 years old. You've never been here before. Let's see. From the report yesterday about 6 o'clock, Arlington responded to a domestic. When they got there, they met with mom. Found out that you evidently and your 12-year-old brother were arguing, and you started choking your brother. You also struck him several times about the body. You told the police that he struck you as well. Younger sister texted mom, who came home and separated them. She called the police and wanted officers to speak to both children about fighting each other. Mom was not home when the assault occurred, but came as soon as the youngest child texted her. So they arrested you for family violence by impeding breath, which is a felony level offense. Right. So does mom speak English?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Judge.
Okay, how many kids do you have?
3.
3, okay. And how old's the youngest? I didn't see.
She is 10.
10, all right. So 10, 12, and 14.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm gonna tell him, like, should I be worried about Hazel, like, attacking her brother again?
No, I don't think so. She's a great kid, and I honestly believe this is not going to happen again.
Is it just something that went out of control? You know what the original argument was about?
Still to this point, I don't, Judge. Spoke to my son last night, and he says he still doesn't remember what really happened, or what the reason why they started arguing.
Mr. Sierra, could you not block the camera with your phone? I mean, you can turn the camera off, I don't mind, but it's just, you're holding up your phone right in front of your laptop camera.
Excuse me, Judge. I'm sorry.
That's right. So, Mom, tell me about her. How's Hazel in school?
She, I mean, now that, you know, we recently moved about 7 months ago down here. She is
From
doing, she's doing well.
Where'd you move from?
Kilgore, Texas.
From where?
It's Kilgore, Texas, from going down towards Tyler, close to Tyler, Texas. But she.
Did she ever go to juvenile court in Smith County?
No, Your Honor.
What are her grades like?
She's a little low on her grades at the moment, but she's.
Hold on, what's a little low?
You know, she's failing at, I believe it's a subject, which is math. She's always honestly been struggling with math, but you know, it's not totally bad.
Mom, can we agree failing is not a little low?
Yes.
Okay. I understand you're trying, I mean, you want to show encouragement to your daughter, but we agree that failing is not acceptable, right?
Right.
So behaviorally, is she respectful to you?
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
She follow your rules?
Yes, she does.
Now, my question is, are you minimizing or is she really following your rules?
She is. She really does follow my rules. She's always been a great kid.
Okay. Okay. Are you worried about the safety of your other children if I was to release her?
No, Your Honor, I'm not.
All right. So Hazel, this is where I'm at right now. I can decide two things. Oh, Mom, does she have a history of running away or walking out of the house?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Hazel, this is where I'm at. I can make one of two decisions. One is I can keep you here, let you get to level 1 outstanding, show you can behave, that you can follow the rules, that you can do what our detention staff tells you to do. And once you get to level 1.0, I can release you to your mom. Or you can promise me that you're going to be respectful to your mom, follow all our rules, get your grades to passing, and then I can let you go home today. Which one should I do?
Let me go with my mom.
Okay, so I will, but you understand that if you can't get your grades to passing in math, we will bring you back here just so you get re-enrolled here at Fort Worth ISD to make sure that you get your passing grades. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So your priority is being respectful to your mom and your siblings, okay? And then also to get your grades to all passing, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm giving you this chance, but you're asking me for this chance, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll see how it goes. Thank you, Hazel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Mesa. Koy Zahirniak. Zahirniak.
Sorry about that.
All right, Koy, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm making a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Do we have a grandparent or a parent here for Koy?
We
Yes.
have parents present.
Okay. Where are Koy's parents?
Right here. Michael's
Okay,
at
there
home.
we go. Michael's at home. Thank you. All right, Koy, if you can't afford an attorney, we'll provide one for you. For today, we've appointed Miss Mills, who's here. Good morning, Miss Mills.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's Jason doing, by the way?
He's good.
Okay, good.
Busy.
Tell him hello for me.
I will.
Okay. So, all right, Koy, you're almost 17 years old. You have no history with us. Yesterday around 11 o'clock, Fort Worth PD responded to a minor accident where you were the driver. You told the police you were driving from West Texas that you were running away. The vehicle was confirmed to be stolen out of West, belongs to Grandpa. You're also confirmed to be a runaway, so you were taken custody for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and runaway. And so we're following up with Grandpa to see if you want to file charges. So Michael's iPhone, are you dad or Grandpa?
I'm Dad. Grandpa's right here.
Okay. Hi, Grandpa.
Hello, Judge.
You're from West, huh?
Yes, sir.
I love that town. I went to Baylor, so, you know, I can't tell you. I mean, 2 o'clock in the morning trips we took up to the check stop. Okay. All right. So tell me, what's going on with Koy? And so does Koy live with Dad or live with Grandpa?
Okay, Judge, the thing is I got custody of Koy. I got sole custody. He's living with us, but he was acting out. He made a claim at school that I abused him, which is not true. And so I'm a cop, so that caused me little problems. And my wife works for juvenile probation, so that caused her a little problem. It was a complete lie. So we got him in counseling. We got him in to see a psychiatrist, which they gave him medicine, which we found out he's not taking. We've been doing everything, but we let him go live with grandma and grandpa, who are a block down the road, because I couldn't have these false accusations here. We have other kids. So we let him go live there, and we found out that he snuck out the other night. And then, of course, this happened.
Right.
He's going down the wrong road, and it's been ongoing for about the last 6 months. Just grades are down, not listening, not following directions, and
So it's just a really crappy attitude.
real crappy attitude.
Okay. Well,
He has everything he needs here. He's got a great stability at home, financial wise. I mean, everything's fine. He just does not want to listen.
on that, I'm glad we are in the business of fixing crappy attitudes. So you're
Yes.
in luck. All right. So I guess here's a question. Your wife works, you said, for JPD in McLennan County?
No, she works, yes, for McLennan County. She's a therapist there
Okay.
for juvenile probation.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this. You said you got him some medication, which he wasn't taking. So that makes me think he's seeing a mental health professional.
Yes, he is. He had an
What is
appointment today. So
Can I ask what he's diagnosed with?
depression.
Depression. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of trauma-based history that we need to worry about?
No, just that when he was younger, his mom gave him up. So, I mean,
Okay.
that probably bothers him a little bit. He wants to go live with her, but
He does have contact with him.
he does have contact. She's clean. She's really good to him, but her stability there, I can't let him go live with her.
I understand. And what county does mom live in?
She lives in Louisiana. So mom's
Louisiana.
yeah, she's not even close to here.
I understand. All right. Well, I'm going to kind of cut Grandpa out of this discussion because I really want this between Dad and me right now.
Okay. He understands.
And so my question for you is, because you're familiar, what agency do you work for?
I work for Hewitt PD. It's right next to Waco.
No, it's all right. I've been pulled over by Hewitt PD. So, okay. So, no, that was 30 years ago, but that didn't mean it didn't happen. All right. So, I mean, you deal with juveniles, and I want to defer to you. You're still Dad.
Mhm.
I have my own idea of what I think I would like to do in this situation, but I also want to give deference to you because you are familiar with the juvenile justice system. You're also very familiar with what it's like in McLennan County versus Tarrant County. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is I would like to detain him for now. I would like to get him a psych eval. I would like to get what medications that y'all have. You can bring it up to us so we can
Okay.
make sure he's taking his prescription regimen and make sure it's balanced and working and he's taking it, because we can make him take his medication. You can't, right? I mean, it's just too easy at home to refuse to take it. Here, if he doesn't take his medication, then he loses points. And if he's not a level 1 outstanding, he never gets out of here. Like, we'll just keep him until he gets a level 1 outstanding on his behavior level. So the kids all take their medication. If it doesn't work or it's not balanced right, we have him see the doctor even weekly to make sure he gets the right prescription. So it's something that's effective, but yet the side effects aren't unmanageable. And then once that balances out and he can behave, then that opens the door for the conversation to return him back home. Right now, that's what I would like to do at this point. I don't know how that fits in with what you think is best for your job.
That's what we need. He's going to be 17 here soon, and it's not going to be a game anymore.
Sure.
And he end up in the big boy jail, and so we need to cut it now and get it done.
I understand. And here's the thing, Coy. Right now, it may sound harsh what your dad's doing. Your dad's not saying this because he's trying to be a jerk. Right? The stuff he's saying may make it seem like he's being a jerk, but he's not. He's saying this because he sees what I see every day that you don't. What he sees is what happens with kids that are making the wrong decisions, that don't understand that there are consequences to decisions. Now, look, Coy, good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions, right? I'm treating you like a juvenile. And as long as you act like a juvenile, where you're saying every moment's a learning opportunity and a teaching opportunity, It's something where you can do better with your life. That's the direction that we want. And you get on with your life and this gets sealed. And even the DA here will tell you they don't like the fact that I'm very jealous about juvenile records. I am not a judge that likes to turn those over to any other agency. I think juvenile behavior is exactly juvenile behavior. Here's the problem, Coy, is if you refuse to be a juvenile and you insist on being an adult and making big boy decisions, then I'm going to treat you like an adult and you're going to have adult consequences. All right. I'm really throwing the ball back in your court and let you make the decision how we go from here. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and detain you. I'm going to order, Dad, when's the last time, you said there was an appointment today. When's the last time you were supposed to see a mental health doctor?
He was supposed to go to, he got on his, he got on his medication 1 month ago. He had a 1 month follow-up today.
Okay.
To see how the medication's working, and individual therapy next Friday.
Okay. So he's going to miss out the individual therapy. At this point, yeah, if you can tell, I guess, Mr. Kroll what the medication is, and maybe the doctor can send over records to our psychiatrist.
Okay.
I'm going to make a referral to schedule an appointment with our doctor. Our psychiatrist comes on Thursdays, so he'll have to wait till next week before he sees our psychiatrist. And then we will either continue the prescription or, based on what your son says, maybe alter the prescription to what he thinks is best. But Coy, if you're going to fight the system, you're going to lose. You can't win. Right now, since you're at Kimbo at our detention facility, you can't win this fight. You and I, if we're going to butt heads and we're going to see who can hold out longer, I promise you I can hold out longer, right? So one day if you wake up and say, you know what, I'm 16, almost 17, I just need to put up with the rules and put up with the structure and my dad and grandpa and whatever the judge says, and I got to do it for 15 more months and I'm on my own, man, that's all we're asking you to do. We're just asking you, while you're not 18 years old, that you just act like a kid and be a kid and follow rules like a kid. If you want to grow up and make adult decisions, you'll have adult consequences, all right? So Coy, I'm just spelling this out for you. I'm very callous. I'm very neutral about this. It is what it is. I'm not treating you any different because your dad's a peace officer. When you're back there, you'll meet other kids and they'll tell you this is exactly how I treat everyone else. Okay? There's no special good or special bad because of your family. Now, your grandpa seems like a real nice guy. I think he was wearing coveralls, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And my staff is laughing because I wear coveralls too. That's as soon as I get home. They're coming back, I think.
Judge, is there any way we can get a drug test? Because
yes. So our thing is, I believe that I shouldn't give a drug test to every kid coming in. I give them drug tests when they come in the second time, but not the first. But if the parent is requesting a drug test, we will give them either a urine analysis, or if you would like that, we will give them a hair follicle test.
Probably the hair follicle.
Okay, yeah, that goes back three to 6 months, and so
yeah, he's been acting off, and I thought it was the medicine. Well, he's not taking it, so it's not the medicine. Now
there may be there's some overlap. Certain psychotropic medication tests positive for certain types of illegal drugs, so we'll know based on what his medication is. So, but yes, we will. So, Mr. Kroll, I'm going to go ahead and order a hair follicle test for this child.
The hair follicle only test for chronic use.
So I'm ordering the psychiatric evaluation. Coy, they explained our behavior levels to you here, right? Okay. So you know about the do not associate, slow to comply, fail to comply. You've got to get to level 1 outstanding. I will tell you right now, that unless you're level 1 outstanding, you will not get out. If you're level 1 outstanding, that doesn't mean you automatically get out. That just means it starts the conversation for me to seriously consider whether I release you or not. Okay? Coyd, I know, so if you want to tell me something, I don't want you to say anything, but if you have a question for me, this is the time for you to ask, because otherwise you won't see me for 10 days. You have a question for me?
No, sir.
Okay. It's a difficult time. I'm just asking you to take this moment, hopefully that you can say either I'm going to follow the rules of society, the rules of Kimbo, the rules of my home, and I want to go back and just be a kid, or if you just want to fight the system, then understand that it's going to be a long and drawn out fight. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Dad, we'll get the, Mr. Crawl, yeah, thank you, Ms. Mills. Dad, Mr. Crawl will get you the results. We'll get a sample today or tomorrow or Monday. It takes about a week to get the results back from the lab. Our next detention hearing with your son will be in 10 days.
Yes, sir.
And of course, Ms. Mills, this is I don't know, you may want to talk to the father and see, since this child's a resident of McLennan County, if
Right.
you want to transfer the case, at post adjudication or leave it here in Tarrant. It's really, I don't know how, there may be a weird conflict because Dad does work with the courts and the same judges in McLennan County. It may be better to be kind of distant. It may be better for the child as well, but that's, of course, Coy, you've got a good attorney, Ms. Mills. I've known her for years and years, and she's a good one. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, everyone. So at this point, I'm going to turn the docket over to Judge Porter for the remainder of today's detention docket. If I don't see everyone, have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge Kim. Malika Keem Dotson. Miss Blair, do we have a family here today?
Yes, Your Honor. She's coming in the parent room.
Wonderful. Are you Mr. Dotson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dotson, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Ms. Hamrick, is here. I will note that you've been level 1 since December 26th. You were brought in on family violence. It's my understanding it allegedly concerned an argument with your brother in which you basically held a pair of scissors to his neck. Mom and Dad, do y'all want your son to come home?
I would love for Malik to come home. I want Malik to understand that there are rules that he must follow, and his schoolwork must be done. He cannot stay, and I have 3 other children, and it's just mandatory that he follow the basic simple rules and that schoolwork is done.
Are you worried about the safety of your other children if I let him go? Uh-oh.
I'm really not, but I'm still blown away that that even happened. That was, I would have said before that day that no way he would have ever done something like that, but he did. Now, do I think he will ever do it again? Oh, I pray and hope no, but no, really, I'm not, I don't think that he will.
Ms. Hamrick, do you believe that if I release Malik to his parents on the electronic monitor with the additional requirement that he comply with his medication management and that he does his schoolwork, do you believe he will comply with those 3 requirements?
I truly do, Your Honor. I've talked with him multiple times about this was a very unusual event, and he would love to take it back if he could, but we can't go back in time, so we just got to move forward. He wants to be back home with his family. He told me about his schoolwork. He loves his family. He wants to be back home. So I expect him to do everything that you would expect him to do.
All right. Malik, you have been level 1 since the 26th. You're level 1.0 today.
Judge Porter,
Yes, ma'am. Claire.
his level, he's only been on level 1 since January 6th. He's been flip-flopping between level 1 outstanding and level 1 acceptable.
Correct. I know that. I noticed that. But he is level 1.0 today, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Malik, I'm going to authorize your release on the electronic monitor. However, I'm also authorizing your release on the condition that you comply with taking your medicine as prescribed to you and that you have to do your schoolwork on time. If you don't do those 3 things, if you don't comply with the electronic monitor, you don't comply with your schoolwork, you don't comply with your meds, then mom is going to tell Miss Blair and you're going to come back to detention where we can make sure that you follow the rules, that you take your medicine, and that you do your schoolwork. Okay? Are you in agreement with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Evan Rowe Garcia. All right. It's Mr. Let's see. Good morning, Mr. Garcia. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. Mr. Garcia, we met before. My name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Adler, is here. Excuse me. Yeah, the court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your detention. So I will not go into the facts underlying the reasons why you were initially brought into detention. What I will talk to you about is your behavior level in the back. What is your behavior level in the back?
2-0.
What is it supposed to be?
Level 1-0.
So what do I have to do today? Do I have to detain you or do I have to release you?
Detain me
And why?
because I'm almost there. I'm getting there, but like I'm not there.
You're not there, and you got to get there and you got to maintain it.
Yeah.
Because that's what it takes to prove to me that you can follow the rules. And
Yes,
until
sir.
I'm convinced of that, you got to stay here, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. That'll be the order of the court today. Thank you, sir.
Bye, Mom.
I love you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Adler. All right, Joshua Hall. Sorry, I'm trying to make him a hockey player. Good morning, Mr. Lockhart.
Good morning. How you doing?
Oh, better than I deserve. All right. Are you Mr. Hall?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hall, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have
Yes,
the
sir.
right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Melissa Hamrick, is here. Do you see her on the screen?
Yes, sir. I do.
All right. You were previously placed on probation by this court and ordered to placement, and the information provided to this court is that you ran away from Canyon State Academy from
sir.
that placement and were unsuccessfully discharged. Am I correct, Mr. Lockhart?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
And he is level 1 acceptable in the back. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Hamrick, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, of course, he would love to go home. His parents would like him to be home. We have a hearing scheduled for next week. I've reached out to Zane, who is his assigned prosecutor, to discuss the case. I have not heard back from him. My client and his mother and his stepfather would get him back here if you were to release him. I understand because of his leaving and gone that if you did release him, I've cautioned him that he would be on an EM, and an EM will not keep him at home. It will just let us know if he runs away. So other than that, I will leave it completely to your discretion.
Thank you, Ms. Hamrick. Mr. Hall, you ran away from placement, you know, and you're only level 1 acceptable, not level 1 outstanding. So I'm not convinced that if I were to release you, you'd actually come back to court and not run away again. So on that basis, I have to order that you be detained today. All right, sir? We'll see you next week.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Malachi Blake Lester.
What?
Your Honor, if I may, father is here, as is Ms. Delorier from CPS.
Oh, good. Thank you. I saw Ms. Delorier earlier on the screen. There's, let's see, wait, there
She's
she is.
muted.
Okay. All right, are you Mr. Lester?
Yes.
Mr. Lester, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Harmony Sherman, is here. Do you see her on the screen? All right, I see you nodding your head up and down. All right, the court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your detention in our facility. Mr. Lester, did Judge Kim talk to you about your behavioral levels when you initially came in?
Can you elaborate?
Okay. Have they talked to you about the difference between level 1 and level 2 and level 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is the best level? Level 3, level 2, or level 1? Level 1. And within level 1, there are different grades within level 1, correct? What's the best level within level 1? Level 1, outstanding. You're correct. Now, what's your level today?
I'm not sure how many points I got taken from yesterday, but I might be 1A, but I should be 1O, if not 1A.
Okay, so 1 acceptable. Judge Kim's policy here is that he wants kids to be level 1 outstanding when they come for their detention hearing. And he requires that before we can consider you for release. Okay? Mr. Lewis, is mom here today?
Father is here, Your Honor.
Okay. Oh, I'm here. I see.
As is CPS, that has an open case.
Dad, have you had a chance to talk to Malachi while he's been back in detention?
Yes, talked to him a couple of times, and he's also talked to his mother a couple of times on the phone.
How are those conversations going? Are they sounding up, becoming more positive?
Well, actually, the last one he had with his mother, he argued with her a little bit. And it still stands. He didn't want to come home. I don't want him to come home until he gets help. That's what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, I can't release him today because he's not yet level 1 outstanding. And that's the requisite before I can consider it. Now, just because he gets to level 1 outstanding, it's not an automatic release.
Gotcha.
But that's what it takes for us to begin that conversation. And he's not there yet. Now, okay, Malachi, if you want to ask me a question, I bet your attorney will let you ask me a question. But if you just want to make a statement or make an argument, I bet your attorney does not want you to do that. So do you have a question for me?
Yes, sir.
What is your question?
So, would I be able to, I talked to my PO about this. If I were to go to a placement, would I be able to be accommodated to individual therapy rather than group?
There exists that possibility. It depends on which type of program that y'all talk about. And that's also a discussion you want to have, not just with your PO, but you want to talk about that with your attorney as well. So when you and Ms. Sherman talk, make sure that you discuss, if that's something you're interested, make sure you discuss that with her because that will help her. You had another question. Yes, Mr. Lewis?
I didn't want to interrupt Malachi if he has a question.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to advise the court that while there's been decisions made, the general, I guess, tenure of this is both agencies are looking at potentially placing Malachi outside of the home for a period before he can return to the home. It's just a question of how the respective cases are going to be playing out.
And Ms. Delaurier, are you with CPS in Tarrant County?
Yes.
Okay. And has a petition been filed?
So from the last court hearing, I had been under the impression that Malachi was going to have a psychological done on the 27th and we'd have results back by the 4th. But then apparently there was a quarantine issue where the psychological did not get completed. In order for me to even begin to look for placement, I need to have that psychological done. So we're kind of on hold until that psychological can be completed.
So my question was, has a petition been filed?
Yes, Judge, on December 28th.
I meant in the CPS investigation.
Okay, Judge, I'm a new investigator. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
You're gonna have to explain to me what you're asking.
I think you just answered my question. So that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Have you talked to one of the CPS attorneys yet, and have they filed anything? And
No.
that's what I was looking for. Okay. All right. As for today, Malachi, for purposes of your detention, I'm going to order that you be detained. I want you to continue working toward getting to level 1 outstanding. The reason for that is 2 things. First, that'll show me that you know how to follow the rules. Second, that'll show your parents that you know how to follow the rules. Third, that puts your attorney in the best possible position to work with your probation officer to find the best solution to help you. Okay?
Sure.
So I want you to get to level 1 outstanding for those 3 reasons. 1, impress me. 2, impress your parents. And 3, to help your attorney. Okay? Yes, sir. You have another question?
Yes, sir. Do you know my current level? Because I was 1-0 yesterday, but I might be 1-8 today.
It's my understanding it is 1 acceptable today.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. That'll be the order of the court.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you,
Can
Ms.
I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Manuel Mario,
Yes, sir.
how are you, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Beaver, is here. Do you see him on the screen?
No, sir.
All right.
Good morning. Good morning.
I now see him.
Awesome. All right. The court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your detention in our facility. Let's see. Ms. Lopez, is he still currently on probation from last year?
Yes,
All right.
he has not been on very long.
Oh, okay. Now, he's been level 1-0 since the 3rd, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Beaver, what are your thoughts?
But Your Honor, of course, I would like my client to go home. I'm not sure if his mother is ready for him to come home. I did not have the opportunity to speak with her before today's hearing.
Is mom here?
Yes, Your Honor. She's in the parent room.
Well, I'll let you know that I'm not yet comfortable releasing him. He's only been level 1-0 for 5 days. And given the fact that he's already on probation, and Ms. Lopez told me he hadn't been on probation that long, it sounds like he's still kind of thumbing his nose at the court. And so I'm not yet convinced that if I were to release him today, he wouldn't be a danger to the public. Now, Mr. Murillo?
Yes, sir.
You have the power to change my mind by maintaining level 1.0 and showing that you can obey the rules in the back. And I'm not going to tell you how long it's going to take to convince me of that, but you need to get there and you need to hold it. And eventually I'll become convinced. But until I'm become convinced, not ready to release you, okay?
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me a question. Don't make a statement, but you can ask me a question.
Cause since I got detained today, and I have a motion to modify on the 19th, do you know, if my motion to modify will come before that or my detention hearing?
If I'm adding my numbers correctly, the motion to modify hearing will come before your next scheduled detention hearing. But that's really something you need to be talking to your attorney about, okay? All right. All right. That's going to be the order of the court. Thank you, Mr. Murillo.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Beaver.
May I be excused?
Yes, sir. You enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
Hugo Ramirez.
Council President, Your Honor. Mr. Mesa.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Mesa. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, better than I deserve. All right. Are you Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramirez, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Mesa, is here. Do you see him on the screen?
Yes.
All right. The court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct. More specifically, it is alleged that you were out 4:40 in the morning in a vehicle. Well, no, 4:40 in the morning, and you're seen on a Ring doorbell camera breaking into somebody's home, and then a rifle was stolen. Now, you've been level 1.0 since the 29th. Mr. Mesa, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, we would like the court to consider the release. He's been in 13 days, actual days. He's 15 years old. Behavior level has been outstanding, I guess, for a while. He lives with both parents at home. He has 2 siblings, a 7-year-old brother and a 1-year-old sister. He's in 10th grade at Pascal High School. Mother says grades are mostly good, 70s, 80s. He's been on computer classes lately. His grades did go down a little bit because of that, but she says she anticipates him going back to school in person now this semester. Prior to this incident, he's never been in trouble before. Parents do provide a positive, secure environment at home. They are willing to cooperate with the court and probation officer's recommendations for Hugo to ensure that he will comply. That being said, we would like the court to consider releasing him today.
All right. Mr. Ramirez, it's alleged that you broke into somebody's house and rifled through a gun safe and were part of taking of a rifle from somebody's home. That's really scary, especially if it occurred at 4:40 in the morning when people are normally sleeping, when they should feel safe in their homes. And then a firearm was taken. At this point, that is just too scary to release you right now. I am not yet convinced, even though you've been level 1.0 for 11 or so days, I'm still not convinced that if I were to release you, you would not be a danger to the community. It's just, the underlying alleged offense is just too scary for me for right now. So I'm going to order your continued detention. We'll revisit this in 10 days. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Guerrero.
My release, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Jocelyn Saldana. Good morning, Ms. Saldana. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay. Ms. Saldana, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Sierra, is here. Do you see him on the screen with the Cowboys mask?
No, sir.
Raphael, go ahead and speak up.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yes, I see.
Good.
All right. Now, the court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your detention in our facility. Let's see. Ms. Aguirre, does she have a history of running away?
According to Mother, yes, she does, Your Honor.
Okay. Do we have the evaluation report back yet?
We do, Your Honor. I received it this morning.
All right. Mr. Sierra is shaking his head. You've received that copy? All right. Jocelyn, Mr. Sierra, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, Ms. Jocelyn's mom at this point is under CPS observation caseload per se. And she is at this point not willing or able to take her home. So I've been in communications with the DA and Ms. Aguirre. And the thought process is, given how long she's been in detention, we're hoping to see if we can put her in a placement so that while CPS can be looking for a foster care provider and get her in a stable environment so that when they do release her to her foster care, we put her in the best position to have good relations and the to succeed while she's on there. So that's tentatively the overview of what's going on in our communications among all of us, Your Honor.
All right. As for today, Ms. Saldana, based on your history of running away, I'm going to go ahead and keep you here in detention. And I'm going to allow Mr. Sierra and Ms. Aguirre to continue to work together to find a good outcome for you, okay?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way they could speed up that process? Because I've been here for over a month now.
Mr. Sierra, is there any way you can speed up that process?
We are trying, dear. We're trying. And it was hard to make the decision to get to this point. And everyone is aware of your situation and we know how long you've been in there and we're doing the best we can.
Well, grease those wheels. She's ready. All right?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. That's actually my role in all this, is to kind of push them to speed things up when it's appropriate. So thank you for that. All right, that's going to be the order of the court. Thank you, Ms. Saldana.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a great weekend.
You too, Judge.
Finally, Alexis Soto.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Doing good.
All right, Mr. Soto, my name's Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Adler, is here. Do you see him on the screen?
No.
Go ahead and unmute yourself, Frank. There.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
All right. Alexis, you know about the behavioral levels in the back, right?
Yes.
Okay. What's your behavior level?
Excuse me?
What is your behavior level?
2U.
And what does U stand for?
2 unacceptable.
Uh-huh. And what's it supposed to be at before I can even consider you for release?
1 outstanding.
Uh-huh. So what do I have to do today?
Detain me.
Why?
I'm not 1 outstanding.
Uh-huh. What's it going to take for you to get there?
Follow the rules.
Well, that's really generic. let's be a little bit more specific. What are the rules you're struggling with? Ms. Guerrero, what are the rules that Mr. Soto is struggling with?
Judge, it seems that he was cursing in the back. So that's one of them, is that he should not do that, use appropriate language in the back.
All right, so let's start with that, Mr. Soto. How about we stop cursing at people? Can you do that?
Yes.
All right.
And he was also using some hand gestures. It doesn't specifically tell me what the hand gestures were. So I don't, just inappropriate hand gestures and him being off task.
Well, I'm all for learning foreign languages, and American Sign Language would count as a foreign language. However, only attempting to master use of one finger is not really an appropriate way to learn a foreign language. So, if you're going to be trying to work on American Sign Language, make sure it's appropriate American Sign Language. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, sir.
What do I mean? I have all day. Mr. Soto? What do I mean? What was that?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, you do. See, you're hanging your head down right now, and you're not looking me in the eye, and you're mumbling. And what that tells me is that you do know what I'm talking about, and that you're ashamed of your conduct. And if you're ashamed of your conduct, then you know it's wrong. Right?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So between now and your next detention hearing, let's stop cursing. Let's stop using gestures that are inappropriate. Okay?
Yes.
All right. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Guerrero. Thank you, Mr. Adler. That concludes today's detention hearings. Everybody, have a great weekend.
Thanks, Judge. You too.